What's going on, everyone? Today, I'm going to share with you my top kitchen renovation tips that can save you money and also achieve great results. As a house flipper, I've remodeled over 30 kitchens so far, and I have the kitchen remodel process down to a T. So today, I'm going to use all of my experience to tell you how you can design a kitchen remodel that meets all of your needs and also maximize the return on your budget. If this is your first time watching my videos, my name is Elisa and I'm a house flipper in the San Francisco Bay Area. I've been flipping houses for almost 4 years now, and I want to use this channel to teach people about real estate and achieve financial freedom. If this interests you, subscribe to the channel to learn more. Tip number 1, cheaper materials can make a beautiful kitchen too. So this kitchen is from the flip that we just completed. You can see that everything here is new and pretty, but the materials we used are actually very cost effective. For example, the countertops we installed here is prefabricated quartz countertops. So prefabricated countertops are countertops that are already cut into standard sizes. For example, for this peninsula, this piece is already cut to about 36-inch deep. And for the regular countertops on this side, the pieces are already cut into about 26-inch deep to go over the 24-inch deep cabinets. And these prefab countertops usually sell for a few $100s in the Bay Area. And compared to when you purchase a quartz slab countertops, around here, sometimes it sells for like $1,700 or so per slab. So the price is a lot cheaper. And the materials is actually exactly the same quartz. But the difference is just because they are cut into standard sizes and they already have the bonus on. So the sizes are a little limited. If you want to do a huge kitchen island, then you may have to use 2 pieces, or it would be better to get a slab countertops. But for regular kitchen counters and peninsulas, these prefab countertops are really perfect and it can save you a lot of money. And the cabinets we use here are prefab cabinets. So the cabinets are made of plywood frame and solid maple doors and drawers. Compared to custom cabinets, these cabinets are very cost effective, but the materials they use are exactly the same as custom cabinets, because I have custom cabinets at my own house and I noticed that it's actually the same stuff. And these cabinets are usually in stock, so you can pick them right up from a store, compared to when you order custom cabinets, you have to order them in advance and then it takes weeks, sometimes months for them to be delivered. So if you are doing a kitchen remodel and you want to get it done quick, then these prefab cabinets are a great choice. The backsplash we use here is this slim subway tile that's made of ceramic. Ceramic tiles usually cost $2 to $6 a square foot in my market. It's a lot cheaper than, say, marble tiles. But these ceramic tiles, when you use them in different patterns, like here, we did the herringbone pattern, and we also use a contrasting grout, so it makes a very good focal point. On another flip, I've also used white picket ceramic tiles that was about $3 a square foot, and it came out so beautiful and clean. Before we go on to the next tip, smash the like button below and subscribe to the channel so you'll see more videos like this. Tip number 2, planning is key. To do a successful kitchen remodel, you really need to plan ahead. You want to plan on the storage, the counter space, and based on your lifestyle. In terms of storage, how many upper and lower cabinets do you need? Upper cabinets are easier to see and to reach, so they are great for glassware, bowls, and plates. So you want to have enough upper cabinets for those. And of course, you can install open shelvings, but remember that everything you put on the shelves are going to collect dust and you wouldn't be able to hide the clutter away. And lower cabinets are a little harder to reach, but they are great for pots and pans. You also want to have some drawers because the drawers are easier to access when they are in the lower. There are also a few smart cabinet features that you may want to utilize, like the roll-out pots and pans organizer, cooking utensil organizer, and the appliance garage. In terms of counter space, you want to have some counter space next to the sink for washing and cutting, and you also want to have some counter space next to the stove for prepping and laying out dishes. And you may want to consider to have some eating space for a quick breakfast. And if you have kids that you want them to do homework on the kitchen counters, then you want to plan that in advance too. When you plan for your kitchen remodel, you really want to take your lifestyle into account. If you have a big family, you probably want to have a big kitchen, and you may want to have a lot of counter space and double oven, double sink, and even double dishwasher. And if you cook a lot, you may want to have a gas stove and a powerful vent hood. And if you like socializing and hosting big parties, you probably want an open kitchen like this one with a big peninsula or an island so you can socialize with your guests while prepping the food. In my previous home, we had a small galley kitchen. And when we were hosting guests, everyone was gathering around the kitchen because that's the center of the house and also where the food was getting prepared. Even though we had 2 large living rooms, the kitchen was always overcrowded and congested. I also didn't like that when I was prepping food in the galley kitchen, I couldn't see the TV in the living room and I couldn't talk to my husband who was in the living room either. So when I was remodeling my new home, I was determined to make it an open kitchen with a big island. So now I really enjoy being able to watch TV while cooking and also socialize with guests around the kitchen island. If you want to learn more tips about kitchen remodel planning, check out this video. Tip number 3, don't forget the workflow triangle. The kitchen triangle is formed by the fridge, the stove, and the sink. Because when you are cooking in the kitchen, most of the time you take things out from the fridge and you wash it in the sink before you cook it on the stove. So when you plan the kitchen triangle, you want to make sure that these 3 things are at a certain distance, not too far away from each other, but also not too close from each other. So when I plan a kitchen remodel, I always put the sink and the stove on 2 different walls to form a good triangle. And I put the fridge usually either on the same wall with the stove or on the same wall with the sink. Another thing to keep in mind is when you relocate the sink or the stove, you would have to rerun the plumbing and electrical, and it can be very costly to do that. So if you want to keep your costs down, you would want to keep your sink and stove at their original location if possible. Tip number 4, plan for appliances early. When people think about kitchen remodel, they usually think about countertops or cabinets, but they don't make decisions on appliances until later on. But actually, there are many decisions regarding appliances that can affect the entire layout of your kitchen and also affect the countertops and cabinets that you are going to install. For example, do you want to have a vent hood or a microwave that doubles as a vent hood? The microwave is a very cost-effective option because this one appliance is relatively inexpensive and it serves two purposes. However, if you want to put in the microwave, then you would need a cabinet on top. But if you want to put in a vent hood instead, then you may need a different size of cabinet or no cabinet at all, and you would also have to decide where you want the microwave to go. Also, do you want an electric cooktop or a gas cooktop? Gas cooktops are usually more desirable, especially with people who enjoy cooking. But in order to install a gas cooktop, you would need gas to run to the stove. And do you want to have a sliding range like this one, or would you want to have a cooktop that's installed more seamlessly onto the countertop? A sliding range like this one is very budget friendly because it combines the cooktop and the oven. But the disadvantage is there is a gap between the stove and the countertops. So when you are cooking, food and liquid can go into the gap. But if you install a cooktop, you would need to have a cutout made on the countertops to install the cooktop into. And you would also need to decide where you want to put the oven. Most likely, you're going to want to have it built in next to the fridge so you can have a double oven. But these decisions all have to be made before the whole kitchen can be planned out. Also, how big of a fridge do you want? Do you like fridges that are counter depth that sit flush with the counter? But the downside of counter depth fridges is that there's very limited space inside. I have a counter depth fridge in my home, and a lot of times I struggle with putting the stuff inside and there's just not enough storage. With the fridge, there are also many different options. You can get a French door fridge, 4 compartments fridge, or ultra wide fridge. So you want to plan it ahead so you can leave enough space and get the right size cabinet to fit it in. You also want to think about what level of appliances you want to get, the medium level or high-end brands. So for me, because I don't cook that much, I usually go with the medium brands like Whirlpool or Samsung. And I really can't tell the difference between a medium brand versus a high-end brand. But if you are a gourmet chef, then you probably want to go with the high-end brands. In general, if you are not that picky about appliances, I would recommend getting the medium brands and save the money on some other features of the kitchen. But there is one exception. I think dishwasher is really one appliance in the kitchen that can make a big difference, because I've used a bad dishwasher before, and I noticed that sometimes after running a wash cycle, the dishes are not clean, and it's really frustrating. So I recommend you to do some research and buy a quality dishwasher. Tip number 5, you want to make sure you have ample lighting in the kitchen. When your kitchen is dim, it makes it harder to work and also make the kitchen feel dated. So for a kitchen of this size, about 120 to 150 square feet, I usually put in at least 8 lights and 2 types of light source to minimize the shadows. So most of the lights I use are recessed lights that are minimal but very bright. And over a peninsula or an island, I use pendant lights that light up the countertops very well and are also decorative. You may also want to consider installing under cabinet lights to make prepping more convenient. Tip number 6, don't overlook the details. In the kitchen, small details can make a big impact. Like the drawer posts, they're really small, but in a contemporary kitchen like this one, you want to choose something that's clean lined and square shaped and black hardware really pops against the white and light gray cabinets. When you use different tone cabinets in the upper and the lower, it adds more visual interest. A lot of times I like to use glass cabinet doors in the upper to break up a whole wall of cabinets, and you can put in some nice glassware or colorful bowls in these glass cabinets to make your kitchen more fun. A nice way to dress up a kitchen is to use a fun backsplash. You can use different shapes, different color grout. It can make a good focal point and also make this entire kitchen look more interesting. I hope these tips are helpful to you, and if you have questions regarding a kitchen remodel, drop a comment below. If you enjoyed this episode, smash the like button below and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.